We've gone years in the UK without using the right tools for the job. Long gone are the days of a razor blade in the mirror. No more shall we look like Sideshow Bob down there. Manscaped have redesigned the electric trimmer. Their engineering team have perfected the greatest ball hair trimmer created and have just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 in the UK. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents because nobody wants a bloodbath in the bathroom. Did I tell you it's got waterproof technology so you can dim those lights, get yourself in the shower and groom to your heart's content? Whatever you do, however you do it with Manscaped's Lawnmower 3.0, and don't forget you can get 20% off and free delivery with the code TT. Manscaped.com. Make your testes their besties. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a transfer special. Although, as we go live, they announce another one. Aluko has confirmed as a signing. The chat is going absolutely mental with that. We will definitely be discussing that in addition to other moves today, one of which, of course, is Barry signing on loan from Aston Villa. Louis Barry, season-long loan, 18-year-old, goes straight into the squad for tomorrow. We're going to have a West Brom fan joining us very shortly, and he'll give us the lowdown on that very quickly, though. We are also partnered with Manscaped. 20% off when you use the code TT. Make those testes your besties. But then after you've had a Manscaped, you need to reward yourself with a beautiful away day beers. You get one of these and a lovely sticker. But no, the stickers are important, but it's the beer we all come for. And today I made a vital mistake. Okay, I put a team out on Twitter. I put 12 men in the team. Either I was still having the effects of too many away day beers, which just doesn't exist in today's world, or I was dreaming of these wonderful beauties. There's 12 beers in particular I do fancy from away days. There's Boncho, Hoppy Robson, The Beat, Brazil's Best. There's 12 of just fantastic ales. That's probably what was on my mind. That's what I'll go with anyway. Right, a few comments as we crack on with this evening. Stephen Perry, maybe 9 p.m. last time we did a half-past announcement. There was one on the hour. Coulson tomorrow, says Jacob. Although conflicting reports, because I've heard Coulson early part of next week. Who knows? But that'll be a left back. There's going to be a numbers game, and I've got Curtis joining me this evening, and we're going to try and narrow down some of those numbers in terms of who's going to be in tomorrow's squad, who's going to be missing for tomorrow's squad, and how is that going to affect it going forward? The squad depth, as it stands, is even with Downs no longer here, is tremendous in certain areas, striker, and then threadbare in others. So, a lot of... I wouldn't be surprised to see Nord and Jackson be leaving. I really wouldn't. Emerson, evening all. Who's buzzing for tomorrow? I certainly am. Josh Russell, Fan Zone meetup tomorrow. Anyone? Absolutely. We'll be the Fan Zone. Show's live from 1:50 in the Fan Zone. I'll be there from about 1 p.m. Come and say hello then. Directly afterwards, Sir Ralph Ramsey statue, where you'll find this show every single home game. After the game, we'll be there. Right, joining us now is a friend of the podcast. He's been before. It's Chris Hall, who joins us through halftime. It's currently still 1-1.
Yeah, mate. To be honest, it's bit of a dodgy goal to concede. It's gone through button, crisp packets for hands. But we're such a different side. I mean, honestly, this is just bombing balls into the box. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest. But I'm perversely quite enjoying it. It's not Pulis ball. It's not men behind the ball. It's entertaining for what it is, but I've honestly never seen anything like it from an Albion team, to be honest with you. But yeah, enjoy it.
It's going to be an interesting season for you guys. It really is. As much as I do like to talk about Albion.
No, it's an Ipswich podcast, and as you say, I'm on a clock, sir. So
you certainly are. Yes, I've been told. No uncertain terms by your agent. No faffing about.
Yeah,
so,
Matt is going to try and take 10% from what I gather. So
there you go. Louis Barry signing from Villa online. I know he's a player you know a little bit about. One of the only Englishmen, I think, or one of the first certainly to be in the Barcelona academy. That in itself is huge. What are your thoughts on the player?
I think it's I think it's a decent signing. I think it's a decent signing in perspective of what you've already brought in. Mm-hmm. If you were bringing Louis Barry as an 18-year-old in to be your main striker, I'd be worried because he's a kid. But you've brought in 18. Macaulay Bonne, you've brought in Connor Chaplin, you've brought in Pigott. I mean, these are quality League One centre forwards. I mean, I've been, offline. I've been messaging Matt every time you guys have made a signing, going, "Wow!" I mean, Connor Chaplin. How did you get him?
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of fans are thinking the same.
Absolutely ridiculous business. I watched quite a bit of him in the Championship last because I watched Barnsley. I got caught up in their story like a lot of people did, and he's a great signing. So Louis Barry, I think you're bringing in to be a bit of an X factor off the bench. I don't think there's an intention there to start games. In terms of what have you got? I mean, look, this kid had 10 years at the Albion before he moved on at the age of 15. I think the first thing to say about Louis Barry is I was aware of Louis Barry for about 2 years, 18 months maybe, before he went to Barcelona. Mm-hmm. And you've first of all got to ask yourself the question, how many 13-year-olds are you aware of at your club? How good does a guy have to be when you're aware of him at 13, 14 years old? Yeah. I mean, that is a ridiculous level of talent. It is scary. Obviously, the circumstances around him leaving West Brom, I don't know how fair you are with what happened with West Brom. I did touch on it last time I was on, but obviously Luke Dowling came in as sporting director. Basically, he didn't see the current academy setup as any sort of a priority. Clearly, he rather systematically dismantled that. Pretty much all the academy staff left in a period of 6 to 12 months. Now, one of those was Mark Harrison, who was the head of the academy, who went to Aston Villa to head up their academy. And Mark basically then took it upon himself to cherry pick the best lads who were existing in our academy. But the first thing he did was he went and he took Louis Barry from Barcelona, and bearing in mind, Barry was 18 at this point. No, 17 at this point.
Yes.
They paid nearly 3.5 or could pay up to 3.5 million.
Wow.
For him. I mean, and you've got to remember, Mark has known this lad for since he was about 6 years old. So he's got a pretty good idea of how good he is and how good he can be. There's a lot of faith there. So Mark Harrison obviously thinks extremely highly of him that he went and paid that level of a fee for the player. Also, you've got to take into account when it was clear that Barry was going to leave the Albion, because basically I think what happened was Barry saw all the coaches he'd worked with leaving, and he decided, well, he's a Villa fan anyway. So he decided, he would have shown loyalty to those coaches, I reckon. Yeah. But once they departed, I think there was a thought process of why should I stay loyal to the club? And when he became clear that he was going to go, Barcelona and PSG were the clubs in for him. I mean, again, what more of a statement do you need to make? The flip side of that coin, like I say, is that
some pedigree that is.
It's unbelievable. And the other thing is he's scored goals. I mean, the guy can operate either wide or through the middle. But ultimately, I think he's going to be a goal scorer, because you look at his goals record, it's ridiculous. His England goals record at youth level is ridiculous.
Yep,
his goal record when he's it's frightening, isn't it? I mean, I think it's something like 24 in 20, which is insane across the different age groups.
20 and 26.
Sorry, yeah, but still, I mean, pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd take it.
Well, we certainly would. I sat through
Yeah.
enough 0-0s last year, mate, to never see another 0-0 again in my life.
Well, quite, and I think that probably, you know, his goals record at the Albion through the youth ranks was frightening. Like I say, to the point where we're aware of a 13, 14-year-old, but not only that. Every time he seems to step up an age group, he seems to score, to the point where obviously Villa had their training ground closed down ahead of the FA Cup third round against Liverpool because of a COVID outbreak with all their senior players, which meant they had no senior players available. So Dean Smith has to turn the kids out against Liverpool, puts Barry in, and he scores against Liverpool's first team.
Does.
Yep. The other thing to note is sometimes when a young kid scores, they have that little thing where the first one goes in off their backside a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of you just need it to shin. I remember,
need it to get off the mark.
I remember Harry Kane's first goal in the Premier League for Tottenham was a massively deflected free kick against the Villa.
Yes.
That's not what this is. This is a ball played through. Barry has a lot of time to think about this, and he beats the keeper with such aplomb. You've got to say the guy is a born goal scorer. But as I said, Mark, there is a flip side to this. And that is that he played for Villa's under-23s against Fleetwood in the EFL Trophy last season. They lost 3-0. He was subbed after 75 minutes injured, and he got picked up a booking. Now, there are going to be teams that are going to think they can bully this lad because he's not fully developed.
He's 18 years of age. Of course not. No,
yeah. I mean, I think in a nutshell, what you have got is a supreme talent and a guy who is going to be a Premier League footballer, but he is not physically developed. He is also not used to big guys kicking lumps out of him, which, let's be honest, you're going to get in League One. I mean, the Liverpool game was great for him, but in reality, Liverpool don't go flying into challenges. Their centre-halves are not thundering guys. It was a different sort of a challenge. He could still play his football to a degree. I think he's going to have to deal with a physical challenge. As I say, I think he's probably going to be used quite sparingly.
Off the bench, do you feel?
Yeah, to start off with. But I think you've got a guy who every coach I have known talk about Louis Barry is excited, like really, really excited by the guy. As I say, Mark Harrison, who worked with him from 6 years old, was so excited about him that he went and plucked him from Barcelona for what was quite a lot of money, which is quite a lot of money for a guy who could easily amount to nothing, because most 17-year-olds do, unfortunately.
As we know at this football club too well.
Well, exactly. Colin, I saw that comment about the new Grealish. I mean, I thought that it was an article in the Mirror. I thought that was a ridiculous article, by the way, because he doesn't play anything like Jack Grealish. He's not even the same position. I thought it was a really faddy article, just capitalising on the fact that Grealish is just in the press. To be honest, mate, it was for clicks, wasn't it? Let's be honest. But he's not. So he's not the new Jack Grealish. But what he is, for me, is he's a quick number 9 who likes to run off the back of defenders, who is a finisher, and he's a player that, especially if Cook uses him last 20 minutes of games against tired defences. If you've got defences, I don't know enough about League One to know who plays a high line and who doesn't. But if you've got teams that play a high line against you in League One, I think he will murder them in behind. I doubt many teams in League One will play a high line, in all fairness, but you might get the odd one or two, Sunderland at the Stadium of Light and stuff like that. I think he's a prospect to be really, really excited about, but I think you're going to have to look after him this year. And I understand if some of your fans almost look at the Troy Parrott thing and try to look for a comparison. I don't think the comparison is there. First of all, Parrott was sent out to be someone's number 9. He obviously struggled at Millwall, then he came to you and it didn't get a great deal better. I think Barry has been sent out to understand what it's like to be around a first team environment. I can't imagine Villa are sending him out with the hope that he will get 30 starts for you this season. I would think that what they're looking for is 15, 20 sub appearances maybe started here or there, if it goes well. And
Perfect.
and I just think it's a really, really. You need that. You need that fizz off the bench. You need that impact off the bench. And the other players that you've got, like I said, loved Connor Chaplin. I really like Macaulay Bonne when I saw him in the Championship for Charlton 2 seasons ago when they played. He scored against us, and he was a real battering ram and a nasty bugger to play against. Pigott is a League One striker, and he scores goals at that level. But none of them have got the X factor that Barry will bring. And none of them have got the pace running in behind.
I hear you're a big Aluko fan.
As I told Matt earlier, weirdly I've got his shirt, a signed shirt from him when he was an Aberdeen footballer, because I saw him in a pre-season game playing for Blues, and I got so excited that I thought he was going to be the next big thing. That a mate of mine knew the press officer at Aberdeen, and I went and basically begged a favour and asked for a Luco signed shirt, thinking that this is going to be worth thousands one day. Unfortunately, his career didn't transpire in quite the way I foresaw, which is why I've not got a job as a professional scout or anything.
Well, there we go. No, well, I'm the same as you. Trust me, there's a number of players throughout my footballing life that I've said, oh, he'd be a great player, and he never amounted to much. As always, it's been a real pleasure sitting down with you. You've certainly whet the appetite to see this young lad come out and play, because incredible pedigree, as you've been detailing. Barcelona, money being spent, and the goals alone, as you've said,
and West Brom, of course, being
that's the biggest. That's why I was leaving it till last. You understand? But I do know you've got to get back to supporting the mighty West Brom. So enjoy your second half. As always, a big pleasure having you on, and maybe in the future we'll do a podcast about a game Town and West Brom might play each other in. Who knows?
Yeah, and just to reiterate what I said last time I was on, but probably more so now, having seen the business that you've done, I'm just really excited to see what Town do this season. It's a lot of players in, so I wouldn't be shocked if you guys didn't get off to an absolute flyer. But I think for the course of the keeper from Salford, unbelievable. I'm not going to embarrass myself trying to say his name, but and as I say, you've got Rec, you've got Connor Chaplin, you've got Bonne, you've got the lad Fraser from MK Dons, who I really like. I just think there's so much there that you guys have got every right to get really excited about this season.
Perfect. Chris, as always, enjoy the second half. I'll bring Curtis in right after a word from our bar. WhateAbeers.com. Beautiful beers. That's going to be the toast come May, Curtis, because you've just heard Chris there. Come on, talk to me about, first of all, LOUIE, Barry. We'll start there. On a scale of 1 to incredibly excited, where are you on the excitement scale?
For me, it's a 9. It's a 9. I won't say 10, because I feel like 10 on, what is it, a 19-year-old shoulders.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
I'm not going to say 10, because there's a lot. I think some fans, especially hearing his pedigree and everything, I think they might get some expectations with him now. But like he was saying there's not many 13-year-olds who come through your system that you hear of at that age, and then go on to get signed by Barca, being the first. I think he mentioned in his interview, being the first English player.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Was it Masia?
Masia, correct. Yeah, well done. Yeah.
So
better man than me, Kurt. I would never have attempted that live.
But no, it's one of them. These are exciting signings, aren't they? They're exciting, and I think from what I hear, there was plenty of clubs wanting to actually buy him, and many Championship clubs wanting to actually loan him. But the fact is, we as a club, we might be League One, but we are bigger than some Championship clubs in terms of stature, and sometimes that can be the tipping point on what sells it to you as a player. So for me, absolutely perfect acquisition. It's on loan. There's no risk to it, and there can only be benefits from this. There can only be benefits.
Absolutely. Harry Butcher was a 10 on the excitement scale. Ben Adams, anyone else feel like Christmas Eve? I certainly do. And I know we'll get into it a bit later on, Kurt. But we're both buzzing for tomorrow. Return of football. I know coming down for it. Brilliant. Lee's on a 6. Lee, as Nathan so rightly said, we've gone from Aaron Drinnan to now Barry, who played in the Barcelona Academy. I mean, how can you not be more than a 6, Lee? How? I brush my teeth and get more excited than a 6. Steve Davis, bald and blue. He's going to be doing the bingo call, and he's like, how on earth will I be able to concentrate calling bingo numbers at work when Ipswich are kicking off their campaign? I'll have one eye on my phone. I'll bring in Ipswich Mark, all the way from Ireland. You'll be the same, no doubt, sure, tomorrow. I mean, how excited are you?
It's brilliant. I can't wait. I will have it on in my shop. I'm going to put it through iFollow, so I'll have everyone watching it. So, yeah, exciting time. That's great, isn't it?
Man, you better sit there and say, look, see that guy there? Barcelona.
Yeah.
That's where he's been.
Well, they're all, sure, everyone in Dublin's walking around with the Ed Sheeran shirt at the moment. I'm seeing millions of them.
They can soon get 17.
Yet, but I will.
They can soon get 17 on the back of it. I think
it's going to be good. No, it's exciting times, isn't it? It's great. I'm really, really jealous that I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I'd love to. I think we'd have to wait till maybe October, November before we get over, but it'll definitely be over. It's exciting times. And it is. I find it funny. Everyone seems to forget how bad we were last season. And some people don't think we're even going to be top 2, which I find ridiculous considering our bad team weren't beaten by anyone. Apart from, I don't know who beat us, but Doncaster Rovers probably beat us, gave us a hide. That's the only one.
Yeah.
I think everyone forgets. I think this team is a lot better already. And all the other teams, what I've reading about them, they haven't improved as much as we have anyway for reference. So I can't say I don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't think we're going to walk at 100 goals, 100 points and all that nonsense. But I certainly do think we'll be very, very much in the shake-up. And I think it's our league to lose, if I'm honest with you. That's what I see it. Maybe I'm lost the plot, but I think it's our league to lose. Us and Rotherham are the top 2 for me.
Our league to lose, Kurt. Pick up on that point there from.
Yeah, I agree with Mark entirely. I think if there was ever a time to be excited about the prospects that our club can offer right now, especially after last season. I mean, last season our League 2 fodder consisting of, and I'm sorry to break a few people's hearts, our League 2 fodder quality shite consisting of Chambers, Judge, Sears, Skuse, and your likes of your Bishop, who's now turfed out, and I hate to break it to many people, Downs, who is close to being turfed out as well. And like these players, they dragged us to a 9th place finish. They drug us to a 9th place finish. Now we're now bringing in players of League 1 quality, League One quality, and we're not talking League 1 fodder. We're talking League 1 quality. We're talking players who are highly rated and who have clear attributes in order to get us out of this league. And listen, I watched the shows. I watched the shows yesterday, and I need to say this one thing about Downs. I saw Rich. I think it was Rich who mentioned how Downs was our player of the season a couple of seasons ago. But then only a little bit before that, we were talking about how bad we were last season, how bad our team was last season. These are the players that we had last season have all since gone. Well, the majority have gone to League 2 clubs. Now, Downs, I've never said he doesn't have the talent. The man has talent. But to be a player of the season amongst League 2 fodder, that's nothing to be buzzing about. That's nothing to be buzzing about. These players, I said before last season that they weren't good enough, and they, for some reason, happened to stay another year. And Downs, for whatever reason, is not proving to Cook that he can be in that squad. Jackson's done it. Jackson's on bench, and we all thought Jackson would be turfed out. I mean, the man's been given a squad number. And if he was anywhere close to being turfed out, we wouldn't have given him a squad number. The same as Coulson at Middlesbrough. I mean, if Downs had the quality, he'd force his way onto the bench, and he'd be ahead of Humphreys. But
unfortunately, I remember, we go back to Downs, like the midfield last year, it didn't control. Not one of those players controlled Bust a bad League One. Listen, we all watched it for the first time. Everyone watched it the same way as I did on the television. Right, so we all watched the same thing. Every week we complained what was happening against a bad. I mean, I don't care what they say. League One is a bad level of football, and League Two is even worse. Right? It is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed being in League One. I do laugh the fellas walking in with League One on their shoulders, on their jerseys, and I go, Christ Almighty! It's embarrassing being here. It is where we are, unfortunately, 100%. And yes, we'll all celebrate at the end of the season. But it's embarrassing being in the third tier of English football.
It really is. Mark, appreciate you.
I'll just finish it with Downs as well. Can we all just remember who we actually always compared Downs to? We compared Downs to. We said he's a younger Skuse. When has that ever lit the fire under anyone? You're a younger Cole Skuse. That
Do it again. That makes me laugh every time.
That is not a compliment to anyone. I'd absolutely hate.
It's really not.
I'll have to say about Cole Skuse. Cole Skuse was better.
Who?
When Cole Skuse went missing, we lost a lot of games. I don't mean last season. I mean the season before.
All right. Fair point.
He was instrumental at the time. Now he's past and finished. But at the time, I thought he was brilliant.
Mark, I expect you to be on the full-time show tomorrow. We're live outside Portman Road. Get yourself on from the man from the art.
I'll try if I'm finished from work. I'll be there.
Hey, you just tell whoever's hair you're clipping. Look, we've got to pause it. Time out. Talking Town is coming on. We love you, Mark, as always. Look after yourself.
Good luck tomorrow. Listen and enjoy it. I'm very jealous. I really hope everyone has a great time tomorrow. Enjoy and hope we win about 3 or 4-0.
Absolutely. Mark, love you as always, my brother. Look after yourself. Ronnie, I agree with Yatesy. The quality of player I consider our best player last season have dived into League Two, and now it really has hit home how bad our team was. Cruncher, you were mentioned there. Say his name 3 times and he shall appear.
Oh, can I see you, Kev? You didn't know I was there, did you?
No, I was waiting.
In the comments the other night, he wasn't hammering people, but Mike Brown's back to being Mike Brown. Pep Brown, I'm going to call him from now on, because he won a trophy at under 12s level, didn't he, Martin? And he thinks he knows everything.
Hey, don't get me involved in this war. This is between you two.
Anyway, while we're playing at Cheltenham, Flynn will be in the championship, guys. So if he ain't good enough, why is he going to Swansea?
And I think we'll leave it there because I don't want to talk about Flynn Downs. I heard less about Bart leaving. Bart was twice the player Flynn Downs will ever be. Talking about Louis Barry, Crunch. I've got a couple of people waiting on. I'll bring them in a second. Your thoughts on Barry first and foremost?
Well, I don't really know a lot about him. What I do know about him is he should take them earrings out when I see him in his interview. He's got what's going on. He spoke really well, Martin. I thought for a young lad. And he looked excited, didn't he? He looked excited to be there. He's excited to work for Cook. I just see Chris's sort of comments on him. I watched that game against Liverpool. I remember the goal. Good goal he scored. Look, he's going to be a squad player. I don't think he'll be a starter, but we've got so much sort of players we can bring off the bench now, change games. We've got him. We're going to have, Aluko, we're probably going to talk about him. You've got Norwood, Jackson. I know he's got a squad number. He's not even going to be on the bench tomorrow when the thought, is he?
Well, no. I've asked Kurt sort of to name the 16 man, and we'll go as we go through the evening. But yeah, you got some real tough decisions, particularly when all players are fit, such as Edmondson and co. We've got Alex Griffin in the house. Big goat, Alex. Come on the show tomorrow, and I'll make sure Crunch is available for yours. That'll bring his ratings down, Crunch. Ronnie, I think Downs has just done himself no favour. His attitude, think there's definitely a good player, but how good I'm not sure. Kingy, welcome in, Kingy. Still lack quality in the centre back area. Adam, I got a job offer at Carrow Road yesterday. I immediately rejected it and said to the guy who phoned me, "Do one. I ain't working for scum." Fair play. What was the job, Adam? We offered the first team coach. Where Stephen, which would you not expect from someone who was Barca? You say he'd be full of it. He's not. Yeah, well, he's certainly got the pedigree, hasn't he, Crunch? Barcelona, the first Englishman to go to the Barcelona academy. That's he's got. No, you don't go there if you're no good. Do you? No,
not exactly.
Not. History.
I'm excited to see him. He can. I think he signed in time, didn't he, to be involved tomorrow. I think he'll be on the bench. I think he'll probably he'll start. I reckon he'll start on Tuesday against Newport. You'd probably see him, and I think Luca will probably play on Tuesday as well. I would have thought.
Yeah. Luca will make his debut on Tuesday. They think. I'll bring Matty in. Matty, welcome in. You got Barry. You got Luca. You got Ed Sheeran with the number 17 shirt. Where do you want to get up tonight, Matty?
Well, I must say, when I first saw the Ed Sheeran announcement, I did cringe a little bit, but I started to think a little bit, if we sell 100,000 of those shirts to Ed Sheeran fans, that's what, 4.8 million if they're about 50 quid. I'm not too angry at that. I mean, we might have the piss taken out of us a little bit by the away fans, but can't complain. I mean, on Louis Barry, I saw it this morning initially on the ADC, and I thought, I recognise that name from somewhere. Where have I seen that name? And then I realised the Liverpool FA Cup match. I remember watching that game. I remember him scoring. I saw the Villa link and I realised, so I'm really excited about him. Aluko, I think, squad player for me. A backup, bolstering that attacking line. 32 years of age, only a 1-year deal. So it seems like he's someone that's going to be in there to really, back up that front line if we have some injuries. But Barry, for me, is a big one today, I'd say. Yeah,
absolutely. Barcelona pedigree, just as a Town fan, third tier, playing Morecambe on Saturday tomorrow. As exciting as return to football is, a player who's got Barcelona on their CV and isn't 902, it's got to be a level of excitement to it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I saw as well, I think the West Brom guy mentioned earlier that a fee for up to 3.5 million in the future, right, with add-ons. So, I mean, clearly Villa rate him very highly. And he's one of those rare players where, it's been nothing but support from Villa fans on Twitter, Instagram. Everyone's really behind him. And I looked on his Instagram page, not that this means much, but he's got twice the following that Ipswich have. So he's clearly, someone that's got quite a bit of support behind him. And everyone seems to be really excited about what he's going to do this season.
Facebook user Sheeran, still a better player than Nolan. Didn't want to give his name to the comment, or he or she, but not disagreeing with it. Mike Fisherman, Cruncher's got sticky tissues from down to his best of. Mike Brown, why you got to bring it down? Dennis Edwards, this sign's by the end for Jackson, surely. Yeah, sure, mate, there's got to be a numbers game at some point, isn't it? Because you've now got, a shitload of players, to be blunt. Norwood, Jackson, both of leaving for you? How do you see it?
To be honest, I'd like to see Norwood stay. I mean, I know he's troublesome off the pitch, but I think he does have pedigree, and what he really lacked last season was service. I mean, Judge for me was actually a better player than he performed last season in terms of delivery. I think he never really quite had his head in the game when he's in the Ipswich shirt. But I think this season with those attacking wingers getting the ball in, I think Norwood, off the bench or starting, whatever it may be, I think he has a good chance to get some goals. So I'd prefer to keep him. Jackson, for me, is just utterly useless, in my opinion. I just don't see any place for him apart from in the Papa John's trophy, really. Okay. I don't know about you guys. What do you think?
Well, yeah, what do you think there, Crunch? Because if you look at the squad for tomorrow, even you just go on a quick calculation of the attacking options being Burns, Dobra, Fraser, Chaplin, Barry, Pigott and Bond, that's Jackson and Nord on the outside looking in. And four of those players may not see the field. So they're still going to want game time and be knocking on Cookie's door, a la Danny Rose and Mourinho, and saying, play me, boss. And then Jackson and Nord... Well, I like to get Danny Rose turn in. But how do you see this number game falling?
Well, I think tomorrow, he said Fraser's going to play. I really hope Fraser, like you, Martin, plays in the 10. I do not want to see him shoved out on that left-hand side, because if he is, you know what will happen. He'll come inside searching for that ball, and he'll probably leave a sort of, I'm not saying like Alan Judge. You remember when Judgey used to play out wide and he didn't really want to be there, and he'd come in and he'd leave your fullback exposed. So Fraser in the 10, Bond on the bench, Norwood on the bench, Chaplin or Dobra on the bench. Oh my Lord, there's just so many. It's unbelievable, isn't it? We've gone from Drinnan and Hawkins last season, and now we've got this. It's like Colin messaged me earlier. It's like you're in the sweet shop and we're taking all the best sweets, aren't we? We're in there cherry picking.
We really are. But Curtis, surely Norwood or Jackson, as a fan, you're like, yeah, I'd like to see him play, like keep him involved. But as a player, as a person, you've only got a limited amount of playing career. But before the curtain comes down on it, and you've got to retire, you've got a limited amount earning capacity. You need to be playing football. You need to be out there earning not this year's contract, the next year's contract. Surely Norwood or Jackson or both. We're looking even at a loan deal.
This is the thing. So for me, I think if I was Jackson more so than Norwood, I think if I was Jackson, I would definitely be trying to sort of move out, whether that be on loan or permanent. Let's face it, we have now got an abundance of quality up front. Now we're not fighting about like who's shitter between Aaron Drennan and Hawkins. We're wondering between each other who's going to be the main man up front, who's going to be the one to score these goals, because we've got strikers now who can score goals. And if you're Jackson from the outside looking in, I mean, I know he's crept onto the bench recently, but it's like Cook said. We've not got experience on the bench, so we've currently got Humphreys on the bench, who more than likely won't be there in a couple of weeks' time because he won't be needed, because we will have players to cover his position. He might come in towards the end of the season and have his bit part roles, as any young lad or any young prospect will. But Jackson, he's had his chance. He's had his however many games he's had to make an impression in a Town shirt, and it's not gone well. And the only reason why I would keep Norwood above Jackson is purely for the fact I do think I think Cook likes him. In fact, we've seen that Cook does like it. I think Cook likes his personality off the field as well, rather than on it. I think he's a good person to have around the changing room, just for the lads, just to settle in. But Jackson, for the sake of his own career, just needs to go out, and whether that means he drops down another league, because, like I said, he didn't pull up any trees last season when he did get in the side. So whether it means he has to drop another league, it might have to happen. But we are now at a stage where I don't want to talk about hangers on. I don't want to talk about hangers on. They ain't even like, they don't need to be in our mindset. We now have quality coming into the club. We have quality now at the club. And yeah, these players like Jackson, who unfortunately we spent copious amounts of money on, we just need to forget about them. We ain't going to make any profit. They'll probably leave. We'll probably either cancel the contract, this, that, and other. Ashton will probably work wonders and sort out some deal on him. But yeah, these players ain't even in my mindset. They're not even in my mindset.
Matt, are you going tomorrow?
I am, actually. It's one of the... I'm off to Barcelona for a study abroad, so it's one of the rare games I'll be able to attend, making a 7-hour round trip, because, I've got to be there for this one. But luckily, because I'm abroad, I'll be able to watch on iFollow, with the international thing, without a VPN, that is. So, yeah, really, really excited to see the whole, the whole new team. Would have quite liked to have seen the three lines. Would have been quite novel, I think. Would have been quite fun to see them. I think they've been fantastic. Quite like those messages today. They were...
they're good guys.
They seem solid. And how about yourself? You go.
Come and see us, Fan Zone, before the game. Sir Ralph Ramsey Thatcher after the game. Do come and say hello to us all. Camera will be rolling. If you're not going to get involved with your opinion, watch it. I'm still waiting for it to be delivered by Amazon. If Amazon pull their finger out, we'll make sure we've got it. But relax. Matty, appreciate you. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Look after yourself, my man. A few comments before I bring in somebody who's not quite excited. I don't know why. When I say the name, maybe you'll mate, when I say the name, maybe you'll know why. Mike D, just need to pray Evans or Harper don't pick up knocks. Yeah, we're really, really paper thin in that midfield area. Too thin. Ronnie, I think Norwood is much more likely to score and more proven. I think you need that kind of play on every side. Everyone is a bit of a shit house. But then if you get on a run, you start scoring and start winning. I don't know. Paul, I've never been there. No. Paul, who needs defenders when you have the depth of strikers? Joe Raw 2.0. Absolutely. Big shout out to Kingy for the donation. We appreciate you, Kingy. Much love. You've given us a bit of a pickup there, because this man here, he needs a pickup. Come on, Lee. Get excited, man. Football's back. We've just signed a Barcelona academy prospect. We've got more players than I've ever known us to sign in one window. This is brilliant. This is a good time.
Who says I'm not excited? I'm well excited.
6 out of 10.
Well, you asked us to rate what we thought of this player. And I thought 6 out of 10 because he's a young lad. He's not proven at adult football level, is he? Yes, he's a prospect, but he's 6 out of 10, isn't he? Is he going to set the world alight? We don't know, do we? You can't. you can't judge that. You know, all the other signings we've made, they've all got pedigree at League One level or above. So you would be more excited. I just think this is the type of player, maybe, I mean, I might be wrong, that are we holding up our own players? Do we need to bring in an 18-year-old or 19-year-old from another club with what we've got? That's just my thought. If he sets the world alight and he plays down the wing and he plays centre forward and he scores 20 goals,
that's definitely
I'll be the first to jump up. Of course I will. But it's 6 out of 10 for me because he's going to be a squad player, isn't he? Who's he going to start ahead of? I mean, I don't know him that well, but looking at who we've signed, who would he start ahead of?
Your mate.
Well, maybe if he's still there, according to you. Of course he's going to be there. Norwood's a shithouse, isn't he? We've got 3 shithouses: Norwood, Bon, and Pigott. So you need other players around that. But I think he'll play wide. He's a forward, isn't he? So he can play anywhere along the front 3. He's not going to play a centre forward, is he? Or a 10.
Lee, you're getting some battering in this chat.
I don't mind. I can't see.
Lee wouldn't know happy. Lee wouldn't know happy if it came and slapped him in the face.
I am so happy, and I can't wait for tomorrow. But we're talking about one player, aren't we? And you know,
all right,
he's a young lad. He's unproven, and we're going to be developing someone else's player. That's what. Did we not talk at the end of last season that when we had a takeover, that's what was going to happen? You know, we didn't want that to happen. We wanted to bring our own players in. So I don't see that. I can see Bon because he's proven and he's going to make a major contribution. The other loan signing, I forgot who he is now, but they're all proven players, aren't they? It looks like we're going to be bringing on somebody else's player. That's just my thought. I hope he tears it apart, and I'll be the first one jumping up and down in the.
Last season, Lee.
But in his defence, Crunch, he has made some really good points there.
Yeah, look, Lee brings it down to a level. We're all getting excited. We're all losing our shit, and Lee talks a lot of sense. But spin it around. Look at Lincoln last season. They signed Brennan Johnson. He was a young lad who was unproven, and look what he done. So I do agree with you because I wouldn't want him to stand in the way of Dobra. I know Martin's not a big fan of Dobra. I think Dobra's had a really good pre-season. And I think,
I keep hearing this.
He's done more than Raheem Harper.
Hey, go on, Lee.
He has.
To be fair, he did more than Andre Dazelle in his few years.
Look at this.
But Andre Dazell's going to be playing in the Championship next season.
Andre Dazelle could be 30 years old, and we'd still be arguing. We're still developing him. We're still developing him.
Now he's gone to QPR ripping up. But
well, hang on. We ain't played a game yet, Lee. You can't be saying anyone's ripping it up just yet. But fair point, he's in the Championship. Hang on, this Dobra thing. I keep hearing he's playing well. He played well against our rejects, and then he against Palace and Millwall. In either game, he never looks like anything. So against the tougher opposition,
it's all opinions because we see this morning that Mike Brown was telling us that Wolfenden hadn't played well because a couple of his mates down the lake had said, and you said Wolfenden had played well. So it's all about opinions, Martin.
I love this. I love this platform. We do rip it. We do rip them apart, don't we?
Do you think Dobra will start?
I'm not sure. I've got a funny feeling that he's going to play Fraser on the left, which is going to be a shame. But I wonder if I don't know. I think with Morecambe, I think you've got to put two strikers up front. Whether it's, I mean, one of them's going to be Pigott. Whether it's Norwood or Bon, that's bit. You know, you could flip a coin. I think. But I think we'll play two. I'm not sure that we can play. We've played 4-4-2 all pre-season. Some of that's probably been down to the players that we've had available, and we've not had everybody in, so that may change. But you know, if we're talking about trying to gel and things like that, if you've been playing 4-4-2 all pre-season, and then you change it on the first game,
4-4-1-1 though, hasn't it, Lee?
Well, it has, but it's been dropping. It has, but
Michael Finn, by the way, love his comment there.
It's the midfielders and it's the 4 across the middle. Whether or not you play one striker in front of the other, it's 4 and it's 2 banks of 4, isn't it? And then whatever you want to choose. But Fraser has definitely been out on the left, and he's clearly somebody that needs to play in the middle from what I've seen of him on the videos and that. But also, would Fraser now actually be, one of a centre midfield player that could come in instead of, Harper or Evans if they get injured, because he could.
He has to, isn't he?
Isn't he?
Probably gonna have
play
to
there as well, maybe, and it depends on the opposition, I suppose. But yeah, I just hope we've got so many options, and that's the great thing. As Curtis said earlier, we're sitting here last year going, well, we haven't got a striker. We haven't got a striker because they're all injured or whatever. And whatever we brought in is better than what we had last season. So whoever the side is, let's just get behind them. But it's a squad game. It's going to be a squad game. We're going to need all these players. Jackson, I think, will probably go out. But, would you get rid of... I'm not going to say get rid of Nord. You know what I'm like. But we've got 3 strikers, 3 shithouse strikers, and we're going to need them because teams are going to need to be battered. And usually, when we've been beat in the past, it's because teams have strikers that batter us. And you need that in League One. And Cook knows that. When we've got, we've got a decent mix there, haven't we? Yeah. So it's great. It's great. And they're not all going to play every week. But that's why he wants a small squad. He wants 22 in a squad so we can keep them all happy. So you've got 18. It's not going to have 40 players of that caliber and leaving 15 out or whatever it is you're going to leave out. That's just a ridiculous quality, not quantity. No injuries. Top 2. We're going to win the league. I'm sorry, but we can't be anything else. So I'm being positive now.
Tell you what, when Lee Anderson says something like that, you do get a bit excited because it's like, well, if Lee's saying it, if Lee Anderson is saying we're going to win the league.
I was only one positive last year when you kept getting me on to be positive, and then
that's true
because everyone else was slitting their wrists. But the reality is, I think we've lived so long in the past of being shite in the Evans, and we've got in this rut, haven't we? I think it's
that mindset, Lee, haven't we? We've been in that mindset. Yeah, like Mike Brown. I know, look, we have a lot of banter with Mike, but he did say we've got to get out of this Evans mindset. And tomorrow, 2:55, when them teams walk out, the Evans era, that is done. That is gone. We don't need to talk about that anymore. It's gone. Move on. We've got new heroes now.
We're all going to be in bits, aren't we? We're all going to be in bits. It's going to be so emotional because it's a new time for everybody. And especially for the older generation of some of us that have seen some better times than that. The younger generation that have probably only been supporting the team in the Evans era. They've, you guys and girls who are listening, it's all changed. Everything from the top of the club all the way down is so different. Will it necessarily happen this year? I hope so, but it's going to get better year on year, and it's going to be great. And we just enjoy the ride. I've said it before. Absolutely. Just enjoy it.
Love that, Lee, and I love you. See you tomorrow, Fan Zone.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
good man. And after the game, love it. Look, see you tomorrow, mate. He is right though, Kurt, in what he says. There's that midfield area. I'm just gonna keep coming back to it because it does worry me that Evans, who's already spent time on the sidelines, Barry on last night's show from Wigan said he has got a bit of an injury record. If one of them goes down, you're looking at a young player stepping up and possibly playing a number of games. That's got to be a worry, isn't it? I
am quite worried that apparently we were only looking at about 5 or 6 more people, and so far the ones we've got in are Aluko, Barry, and then
left back.
One of them is supposed to be Jacobs. So then we will have Coulson at the back. So what are we waiting for? Maybe one more midfielder to come in. I don't know. It's a very dangerous area when you start throwing in untested like Cameron Humphreys on the bench. It's a very dangerous thing, especially when let's face it, all of our hopes are to get out of this league, and not just get out of this league at a whimper. We're hoping to get out of this league by storming it, especially with the acquisitions we've made. So I think if we do end up coming in to the final day of the transfer window and we've only got one more midfielder cover, it's going to be a very, very dangerous part of the squad to try and fill. But that's not to say I've not got faith in the young lad who's currently occupying a space on the bench to step up, because 17-year-olds have done it in the past. Sometimes they can come on wonders when the pressure's on them. But it's one I would personally like to see at least 2 more in just they talk about experience, how they want experienced heads. I'd like to see a couple of experienced heads in that midfield. And I'm not talking Cole Skuse experience. I'm talking actual decent experienced heads.
Go throw a name at you. Grant Ledbetter.
I'll take him back. I never mind Leadfoot when he was here. Like, I mean, he had the issue of passing it sideways a lot, but I never actually minded Leadfoot.
35.
He's got. We just need a year. Yeah, just need a year. Don't need to give him the option of another year. Just give him a year. Like, just guide the young lads through. That's all we need. All they need.
Insurance policy, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crunch. With someone like that, a bit like a James Collins was when he came in. That insurance policy that if Evans does go down.
Not like James Collins because he weren't fit, was he?
Well, no, that's true.
Good player. Was a good player.
He was.
I agree with it. At the minute, Fraser would probably have to slip in there at the minute if you got an injury to either of them two. Because I was reading Cookie's comments today about Nolan. He's missed the whole of pre-season. He's got a calf injury. So you're thinking he's going to be a good, 6 weeks, I'd have thought. Played no football. He's obviously not going to be fit for Tuesday, the Newport game, when he probably would have played in that. So, yeah, I think I don't know if we need two. We definitely need one in there. And then we still need that centre back, and I still think we need a left back. And it was interesting, Cookie saying Lee Evans is going to be captain tomorrow, but might not be the captain going forward because the captain might not be at the club. Interesting.
Well, yeah, that is interesting. What do you make of that, though? You say it's interesting, but you're a intelligent guy. What do you make of that? Is you hear anything in the old grapevine?
Not really, but I would have thought that centre back. Sonny Bradley was the one we wanted. I still think we need someone in that mould. Toto and Wolfenden, would you want them playing 46 games together? No, I wouldn't.
No,
you'd still want that experience one. Edmondson, like I said to you last night, Martin, I'm not worried that he's injured at the minute. If he misses a couple of free games, so be it.
Yeah. See, the back line doesn't worry me in the same way the midfield two does. Like if you've got Toto, Edmondson, Wolf, and Danassian who can play there, you and Indaba, that's more cover than you've got. If Evans goes out tomorrow, does a hamstring, you're fucked.
Well, I said they're the two key players, Harper and Evans, sitting in front of that back four. Yeah. If they play the majority of the season, we'll have a really good season. I think Evans last year, I think he was out 3 months at Wigan. I think I can't remember, he had an operation. So that's a little bit worrying, isn't it? But look, fingers crossed, we've got to be positive. He's going to play 46 games and we'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Michael Masia. We still have money in January to strengthen the squad. Might Dean never go back, Gov? Better not to Ledbetter. Yeah, I meant the player who is fully aware of his situation. That it's a 9-month insurance policy gig. You're not here to compete with the starting 11.
It's like a Luco. It's like a Luco. Yes, I know they signed him for a year. He's got an option of another year, but he's an experienced player. He's probably not going. I wouldn't say he's going to start many games, but he's played at a high level. He's played Championship football. He's played in the Premier League. He knows what he's doing. He's a good. I was watching it was on Amazon. There's a Crystal Palace documentary on there, Martin, and like when they signed Kevin Phillips. I'm not saying Aluko's as good as Kevin Phillips, but I think he could come off the bench some games, might nick a goal here and there, and he'll be good round the squad. Using his experience for like the younger guys coming in. It's a no-brainer. And like you say, if you sign that midfielder for a year, he might be 33. I know Mike Brown doesn't want any older players, but one or two, you can't have all young kids. And no,
go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, I've seen a few people questioning the signing. That was all, and it goes against what the market ethos has been from town. But it's just so nice to see a player like this come in that maybe 18 months ago would have been the marquee signing. This would have been the player that the Evans era would have trotted out in front of you as it's a player with championship experience on the other side of his career, really, but he's got the championship like Will Keane, etc. and co. We are going to try and aim for promotion. This is our example of to why. Whereas now it's if this guy can do well for a year, we'll reward him. If he doesn't, we'll discard him.
Well,
but he's here to make sure.
On this journey that we're on at the minute, and we obviously hope to get to the Championship, then we hope to get to the Premier League. It might take a few years. Not everyone's going to come on that journey. It's like Sheffield United. There was a lot of Sheffield United players played League One, Championship, Premier League. But that's not going to happen to everyone. And if Aluko comes in, say he scores 6-7 vital goals, we win the league, he gets a medal, we move on, we say thanks very much, and we move on to to better players in the next division. You know, it's like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Low risk, isn't it, really?
He's here to keep players like Dobra and co honest and fighting for the shirt and competition and depth. I mean, and everyone needs that. You know, nobody needs a shirt handed to them in August because, you know, if it's your shirt and there's no one else behind you, you know, you need to have that competition mentality and fighting all the time. Ronnie, you need experience, man. The young one, to the steady head to man to the youngsters. I think
he's only 32, Martin. He's only 32.
Made £7 million move in 2017. You know,
exactly. He played 30 odd games last season, I think. I see. So,
just like the town with giving Ed Sheeran number 17, we've saved our best till last. He is the GOAT, Colin Plum, with a in the military.
Look at that haircut.
When are you joining the army next week? Is it next week or the week after you're joining the army, Colin?
About 3 weeks' time.
What a cut, mate! It's good to see you. Looking forward to catching up tomorrow with you. Let's start with Ed Sheeran. I know you're a big fan of his music. Number 17 in the squad. Could we see him tomorrow?
Oh no! You know, fantastic business for the club. It's got to be said. You know, it's a little bit tongue in cheek, obviously. You know, I had my Ian and Andrew up there this afternoon, and Ian was talking about it from a business point of view, you know, and, you know, it's just fantastic. It's gone through the roof, really. I mean, you know, however many shirts they will sell, God only knows. But young girls and young lads and whatever, everybody, you know, male or female, will be buying the shirts. And I said this afternoon, I would presume it would be quite hard to get in the bloody shop tomorrow. I would predict that. I'd say it'd be nigh on impossible, I would imagine, with youngsters with their mums and dads. But, you know, fantastic PR for the club. As I've said before to you, Martin, and especially to Rich, and Curtis, you know, I hope very much I meet Mark Ashton tomorrow, because I would only want a minute or two with him just to thank him for what he's done so far, because I think it was underlined tonight, because I watched Look East tonight. Well, I actually watched about Anglia and Look East. But Look East, we saw the great Matt Phillips on about Anglia a couple of times. But when it came to Look East, I couldn't believe it tonight. We actually opened the show on Look East. Can you believe that? And the headline was something like, "All change at Ipswich Town." I couldn't believe that I was at what I was watching, and they shoot in the main piece there. You know, where all the players are on the board. There was even people there with the big long brushes painting and decorating in there, in the offices today. I mean, what that bloke has done, and Mr. O'Leary, in this short period of time, has been nothing short of sensational. And I'd love to see Mr. Ashton tomorrow to shake his hand, because what's been going on at this football club over this last 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks is just, I've said this to Rich and you, Martin, I've not felt like this for 15 to 20 years. And if I feel like this, God only knows how people like Curtis feel. That bloke Curtis must be through the roof, because I've seen it all. That's not blowing my own trumpet. That's the truth. I've lived off it for about the last God knows how many years, because you know you got to live off something. But yeah, just thank you to all. Thank the 3 Lions. I mean that from my heart. And tomorrow, I'm just so looking forward to going back to football tomorrow. I can't wait till Andrew knocks on my door at about 11:15. We'll leave about 11 o'clock. I don't know whether I shall take me cleaning stuff and do my dad's flat tomorrow. I might not be able to do that tomorrow. I'd have loved to have done it tomorrow, because I'd like to
do it Tuesday. Do it Tuesday, Colin, when there's less people about. I would.
Yes, Richard. I think I will. I think I will. But I should have got over there before I went on holiday, really, and so it was nice and shiny and lovely for the start of a new era. But yeah, I'm just so pleased.
Yeah, as you say, tomorrow's a big moment. Tomorrow's a big moment, as you say. I was just going to ask Curtis, because Curtis is somebody who, lives out of the IP postcode. Won't get down maybe as much as he obviously wants to. What's it mean to you tomorrow, Kurt? Talk us through it.
I mean, the atmosphere alone tomorrow is going to be special. The last game I went to, I'm predominantly away games, just because of the trek that it takes to get down there. And the last game I went to was early 2016 with my dad, and that was 1-1 against Preston. Daryl Murphy scoring for us and Daniel Johnson scoring for them, and the atmosphere was dead. It was dead. Like the stadium itself, it looked run down. But it's one of them. It still felt like home. It's my club. It's my home. Whereas tomorrow, it's a completely different atmosphere. We will have fans buzzing to be there. There is more expectation than what there was back then. And listen, I just want to soak it all in tomorrow. I'm going to soak it all in. I'm setting off from here with another lad at about 6:30 in the morning. So we'll be making our way down there then. And I'm just gonna soak it all in. I'm gonna soak all the time that I spend around there. And I might even grab a greasy spoon before the.
You deserve it. You really deserve it. I can't wait to meet you all. Cruncher, talk to me. I know it's a big thing for you. You've stayed away all pre-season. You've fought the urge. Talk to me while I sort the dog out.
Look, it's not just us tomorrow. You got to think of football fans all over the country. Waking up in the morning when since March last year we've been watching on your streams. You're watching on Sky. No fans there, and football without fans, it's nothing, is it? You're watching it. You put your fake crowd noises on. Tomorrow morning, we're all waking up. People will be going like Curtis, getting up at 6:30 in the morning. There'll be people getting on coaches, people getting on trains. Going to away games, and it's just so exciting, isn't it? And for Colin, Colin's a legend. For someone like Colin to be excited when you've seen us win the UEFA Cup, the FA Cup, we're playing at Morecambe at home tomorrow. And we are absolutely pouncing off the ceilings, aren't we, tonight? We cannot wait to get there.
Last night, yeah. No, I was.
Yeah. And tomorrow, you that feeling you had last Saturday, Martin, you're going to times that by 10, 20.
Oh, 100%.
You're driving that you normally take. You're probably like, people will go to the same pub or they go to the fan zone. We'll meet people we've never met before. And I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of people. And it's going to be really emotional. It is going to be a real emotional day when they walk out that tunnel. Yeah,
No, it is. And that's what it means. I mean, I couldn't sleep last night at all. I was thinking about Portman Road all night. Literally, that's Thursday night. I was thinking about
just add. They're going to do the minutes applause with Paul Maron, and that is going to be.
They are.
Right.
On the 9th minute.
I'll tell you what, Martin, can I just come in there, please, with what Richard just said? I know for a fact, you remember the show I did, that'll absolutely knock me for 6 tomorrow. Because I'll tell you why. I remember things. I remember like the goal at St Etienne. I remember the hell of a goal header against Liverpool up the Churchman's End. I remember his debut goal against West Brom. I remember him hitting the bar at Wembley in the FA Cup final when PM would never have missed that 99 times out of 100. I'll remember him 3 parts of the wind on the balcony with Walkie, his best mate. Walkie and Butch are doing a chat tomorrow, apparently, on the pitch at half-time. My God, whatever that's going to be like.
Colin, I think that might be recorded at half-time.
Oh, okay.
I think it is.
I think so, yeah.
But I was just going to say, I mean, Yeah, I appreciate that, Rich. But what the day tomorrow will be, let's put it another way, what the day will be like tomorrow for like George, for Terry, for John, for Russell, for all the lads who live local, Roger Osborne, people like that. I mean, goodness gracious, people don't really mention people like Roger Osborne, but Roger still lives local. I saw him there, Felixstowe, not so long ago, and he still lives local. He'll probably be there tomorrow. Well, definitely be there tomorrow, I'd imagine, because of PM and whatever. I mean, we feel it, but at the end of the day, they were all really, really good friends, not club mates. They were great friends, and I'll tell you what, for people of my generation, tomorrow is going to be really poignant. I'll tell you, it's going to be really poignant.
Yeah.
Because PM was, oh my God, he was a top player. Top player.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable player.
Ashley Bell.
Tears, beers, and 3 points tomorrow, I think.
Yes, please. Ashley Bell.
Yeah.
West Brom and Bournemouth drawing 2-2. West Brom missing Harper already. Steve Davis. Exciting because of what's lying ahead for us now. My boys haven't seen any good times apart from one season, and they're 18. Ronnie, Paul Mariner was my dad's idol. I've grown up watching videos of him and him being spoken about, despite the fact I wasn't there. It would definitely be emotional. Sarah Davis, absolutely buzzing tomorrow. Going to come say hello in the fan zone. Really, really, really emotional. Please do, Sarah. It'd be great to put names to faces. I'm looking forward to getting back to the football stadium. As I say, couldn't sleep last night. All I kept thinking about was Portman Road and the stadium and the sea and the people.
I really feel like for Anthony in the chat there, he can't go because he's got COVID, and you think you just want to be there. I know the next time he'll go, he'll really look forward to going, but it's tomorrow. And I feel really sorry for. I'm gutted for people who can't go tomorrow. I really am.
Well, I'm really nervous though, because not for the football, but for the platform and the show. Because I'm looking forward to meeting everybody with. As Bold and Blue said further up, the pandemic wasn't all bad. It brought him to us, and likewise, it brought me to all of you. And we've formed this bond and this friendship, and this platform has grown into a big fan-led thing. And we've got a couple of shows tomorrow, kicking off the season live from the fan zone, and then directly after the game at Sir Ralph. And I'm really nervous about them both.
You shouldn't be.
Ricky,
Martin,
both strive to be quality, and I want it all to be.
Martin, I totally agree with Rich. You should not feel nervous because you're very, very, very good at what you do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Simple as that.
There's always I won't say what I said. Well, rein that back, Martin. Rein that back. There's always the .com version, Rich. Right. I've got the fisherman coming in, so I'm going to hold on just a second longer. He's asked for the link. I don't know if Ben King's also missing tomorrow. I know Ben was feeling too well. It's a big shame, both and Ben. So hopefully that's what I hope the show tomorrow can be. It can be about the guys and girls being at the football ground together and having a chat, but also about bringing people who aren't at the game with us and making them a part of it and making them feel like, I can't be there, but the next best thing is being there with talking.
But this is what football's about, isn't it? You make friendships, and
you do,
and this is what you've brought to everybody this last 18 months. We couldn't go to the games. We've sat here. I know we've been bored watching some of these games, but look, it's been fantastic what you've done. 0-0s, falling asleep on the sofa, watching us against Rochdale. Fuck.
To be fair, I was told I'd never see it. I should see less 0-0s this year, and obviously that means true to their word. But around the time of the sale, I was told by one of the game changers that you supporting your football club shouldn't be a chore. It should be something you enjoy and something you really look forward to at the end of the week. That's what we've now got. It's not a chore anymore. It's not, I've got the season ticket. I've got to go tomorrow. I literally can't wait.
It's been like that for years, though, isn't it? It's been like that for years. I remember going with my dad, and my dad doesn't go anymore because he's too old. And I remember when the Keane era, and sometimes we're driving home, and we said to each other, if you didn't have a season ticket, you wouldn't have gone to the games. But you put yourself through it, and we've put ourselves through it for 13 years under Evans. And tomorrow, like I said earlier, that all washes away. That has gone. This is the new era. It's onward and upward, isn't it, from here?
It truly is.
That's the difference, Rick.
Oh, hang on, Mike. Go on, Colin.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Rich, that's the difference, like in eras, I know everything, just goes around in circles, but That's what I said to Paul Cook that night down Bury Town, you know. That's like when I used to go with my father, God rest his soul. You know, when we used to drive down the A14 to the game, it wasn't like if we're going to win, it was by how many. And that was actually what we used to always say to each other. Will it be, you know, if it's playing Liverpool, will it be a 1-0 win? Will it maybe be 1-1? If it's playing Birmingham or West Brom, will it be 5, 6 or 7? You know, it was never like it is now. When I used to drive, or when I used to go with my dad in the car, nothing was, Martin, nothing was ever, or Curtis, nothing was ever negative. It was always positive. You know, even if you was playing Everton away in the 6th round of the FA Cup at Goodison, it was like, well, you know, at worst, we'll bring him back to Portman Road and beat him on Tuesday. You know, that kind of thing, or Forest, you know, that kind of thing. Absolutely. There was no negative vibes, you know, it was all positive, you know what I mean?
But we need to remember tomorrow, it's like Curtis's dad's no longer with us, your dad's no longer with us, mine, Collins. It's for people like them as well.
It is. Ben Moore, can't wait to see you lads tomorrow. I consider you not mates, but a family. Our Talking Town family. Absolutely, Ben. Other live streams offer the same, but we are unique fishermen. You get a lot of stick, fishermen, but you always come back for more.
Pep Brown?
Pep Brown, Shockley under 12 manager of the year, 2002.
Take Pep Brown. I take Pep Brown. I can live with that. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Mine's nearly as short as yours now.
You know what?
Yeah. Mate.
Yeah, good mate. You?
Good, love it.
You want to get involved, Mike?
I have been watching the show tonight, and I'm just like, I've even tried to get the night off tomorrow so I could go, and I just can't get the night off. So, like, you know, I'm just looking at. I'm going to be looking at. I'm watching it on a system so I can watch the game, shall we say? But I know it's not going to be the same. I know it's not going to be the same. I want to be there. I do. I haven't had a season ticket for many, many years, and
it shows.
You know.
Sorry.
You
You set them up, and I'll back post tap me and Flynn down style.
Yeah. But you know, and there's been a lot of talk. You know, there's been so much negativity over the last years. We just got to get past this. And you know, I've said this, and you highlighted it earlier, Crunch, about, you know, the fact that, you know, the era of doom and gloom has gone. We've got so much. I've not been this excited since, well, God, I can't remember. It's way back. I mean, look, I know we got relegated, was it 95, 96 season, something like that, wasn't it? And we had a few couple of rough sort of seasons, and then we got playoffs with Burley. And do you know what? Even back then, it was never like what it was under this light. And do you know what? Now, and you know, guys, I was very negative last year, completely, and rightly so. And I think every Town fan was, you know, if they were happy what we were seeing, then I just can't comprehend it. But for me, as a Town fan, as an Ipswich fan of God knows how many years, sometimes I was ceased to get older, sometimes I wasn't. You know, but I've been a fan since 1973, where, you know, I got my first kit off my mum and dad. You know, reality is now I am really buzzing. I mean, Lee, I love him, but how can he not be buzzing about this Barker kid, this Barcelona kid who was taken on by Barcelona? Okay, so they deemed him not good enough for them, but you know, I'm sorry, but how can you not be buzzing over these players that we've got?
I'll tell you what, Mike, can I just step in there?
Yeah.
You make a really good point, Mike, and I'll tell you why. Some of the greatest players ever to play for Ipswich Town Football Club, Kevin Beattie, George Burley, you know, to name just two off the top of my head, made their debuts at 17 years of age in the top flight away at Old Trafford. Both of them. Mark and George Best. Now, if that lad of 18 who's been to Barcelona can't come and cut it in the first division, having already played against Liverpool and the likes in the FA Cup live on TV, if he can't cut it in the First Division, I'm Father Christmas. I'm sorry. I like Lee a lot. I like Lee a hell of a lot. But unfortunately, I think he's got that slightly wrong. I think that lad, I'm not going to say he's going to play every week. I'm not that stupid. But I'll tell you what, coming off the bench with 25 to 30 to go against First Division defences, I wouldn't want to be one of them lads at the back, having a kid like that out of the Premier League. No way. I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. We got all these, we got this squad of players that's been brought in. I mean, it just oozes quality. I know we got a gel and all that, but it just oozes quality right from. Look, I've given Wolfie a bit of stick last couple of days. Look,
a bit.
Suddenly, yeah.
More stick than the Forest.
Wait, that's called stick. Behave. Look, there's defensively we weren't that bad last season. Goalkeeping wise, we were shambolic, but we seem to have solved that problem. And I just feel that we have so much. The thing is, we're going to beat teams before we've even kicked the ball because we've got that psychological factor. Yeah. Teams are going to come to it.
Fucking hell.
Games.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait till we lose a couple of games. You'll be losing your shit, and we're going to play this back. Oh, we've beaten teams before they walked on the pitch.
No,
they'll be playing this tomorrow in the dressing room. They think they've won the game already.
No, but
Brown.
But the end of the day is lads. Crunchers coached and stuff, and it is part of the game. One of the biggest parts of the game is psychological. And if we were like going to play, like if we were drawn in the FA Cup and we got Crystal Palace, we think, we might beat them. But suddenly we get drawn against Man City, we're like, oh shit, and that's the difference. We are checkbook FC. Let's no two ways about it. But we haven't like seriously flashed the cash. We've got rid of Deadwood and has-beens and thinks they are better than anybody else in this team. And hopefully one or two more will go. The reality is why shouldn't we be optimistic? I predict top two. I want us to win the league. I want us to win the league and absolutely trounce this league. Reality probably won't happen, but I think top two is a minimum requirement now with the acquisitions that we've got.
But Mike, but honestly, Mike, and I'm sure I include you in this. We've been saying this ever since like the new regime. I certainly have. I tell you what, a lot of people think when I talk about Ipswich, a lot of people say you vote with your heart, not your head. Well, perhaps maybe a little bit. But I think at this moment in time, with all these players, quality players, coming to this club, in this league, I'll tell you what, I've been saying champions all the way along. After today, I'm underlining that. Champions, okay? If we finish second, fine, but Billy Bremner Billy Bremner wrote a book, Leeds United legend. Billy Bremner wrote a book. You get nailed for being, he was a Scot, but he wrote it as if he was a Yorkshireman. You get nailed for being second. He wrote that book while, to the end of his career. You get nailed because Leeds finished second a lot in the league, in cup finals, runners up. You get nailed for being second. And I've always remembered that. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be said for that. But I'll tell you, all right, we'll take second, we'll go up in the championship and we'll kick on from there. But I want this club, and I think they're good enough to go up as champions.
Absolutely.
We totally agree.
Sorry, Martin.
But I'd take second right now, as Lee says.
Yes, so would I, Martin. I'm not stupid.
We all said last season, including me, right? There was a lot of us fans, including me, turned around and said, a better manager would have got better out of that team. The reality is, no. A better manager didn't get better out of that team. And Martin, your one and only time that you're ever right. Yeah, well done.
Fuck off. One and only time. You can't even give me the moment.
You know what I mean? He's never normally right, is he? Do you know what I mean? But we'll give him this one. We'll give you a little bit of credit, Martin. But no,
this time last year, I was telling you all this squad is shite, and no one would listen to me.
No, but you were spot on. The trouble is it being Ipswich Town, we all can see. Do you know what? I reckon. But the reality was, you were spot on from the very beginning. You said that this squad isn't good enough, and you kept questioning it, and we were all saying, "Oh, I think a better manager." I think the problem was, I never hid my fact. I hated bloody Lambert. I never wanted him here in the first place. But
I missed that post.
But I will say, look, that's you were right, and now it's a new era. Now it's a new time to be optimistic. And
Martin's not a Paul Cook fan.
Right, okay, so I'm not buying me again.
You're not his biggest fan, are you? You're not his biggest fan, are you?
No, there you go. I'll say it. No, question marks still remain for me.
And yet
I don't think the squad last year was good, but I don't think it was as bad as it fell off the cliff towards the end. Look. This time next year, I could be sitting here saying, yep, you know what, I was wrong. But I love Lee Cook, as Mike D just said. Lee Cook's great. I wish you got Lee Cook in. But he's got a lot of question marks for me. Last year can be forgotten, but not forgiven, but not forgotten. I can forgive it, but I'm not going to forget it. I know we've got a lot of players to gel in, but so have a lot of teams in this division. Doesn't mean we're going to be sitting here come early November, maybe... I don't know, 12th, and I'll be saying, yeah, you know what, it's fine. I'm going to be watching with the eagle eyes.
I've got one concern, and that's always been my concern. It was my concern with Lambert, and I've got the same concern with Cook. That's my only concern.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we sit here on the verge of a season, and we're going to find it out at some point.
Yeah.
I might be right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Cook come with that obliterates the whole division, and Checkbook FC is promoted by December. But either way, we'll be there tomorrow. All of us, well, not all of us, but most of us. Sorry, mate. We'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries. I think you need to speak to Mark Dowling, by the way, Mike. Speak to Mark Dowling, who was on earlier. He might need your help with a little bit of something. Stephen Parry, either the manager was poor and we had two other players were bad. Steve Dowes, what was that crunch? Gov, you're fired. I agree with the Gov. Good man, Josh. See you tomorrow. I'm not saying Sean Cook either. Hey, I want Cook to be the best manager since life.
We all want him to succeed, don't we? We're all sitting here.
And he's certainly got the tools. Do not make any mistake about it. Promotion is... Anything but promotion this year is now a failure, in my opinion, with this squad. Anything but promotion is a failure.
I'll tell you what, Martin, when I was listening to Chaplin the other night, he was talking about like when he was with Cookie down at Pompey, and he was talking about how good a man manager and what have you, a good coach, good man manager he is in around the dressing room. Now, I personally think we've got to give him a bit of time. I thought when I spoke to him, and when we all spoke to him, then Barry, he came across as a really nice guy. He's obviously got, every manager has to have that side of him, that a ruthless side to him, and I'm sure he's got that. But I'll tell you what, I've got a funny feeling. You like Rich said a minute ago, you might play this back and make me look the biggest fool ever. I personally think as long as we persevere with Paul Cook, I think he's going to become a pretty good Ipswich Town manager. I don't know why I feel like this, but I feel like he's the right fix right now for our football club. I really feel that. I do.
He's certainly got the best tools any manager has had ever, I would say, in this club, because even the early days of Keane, with Evans flashing a bit of the cash, he never gave a manager this sort of backing in a window. Him on with third tier of England's division.
Still more to come as well, mine.
Exactly. More to come.
The end of the signings.
from the football club and from us. We're back tomorrow. Fan Zone 150. We go live till about 2:15. We're in there from about 1 onwards. Beers on Rich and Matt Phillips, and then live Sir Alf Ramsey. Even if you don't want to come on the show and have your say after the game, just come watch it happen. Get around the camera. Certainly, make it a platform feel. I'd be appreciated. But yeah, every home game after the game, Sir Alf Ramsey, I'll be there with the camera, with the cruncher, with Matt, with Ben, Milk Tray Man, with Colin and his crew cut. I'm buzzing. I can't wait. Bit nervous, as I said earlier, but can't wait. See you all tomorrow. And here is our new outro. I know a lot of you like it.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now.